In my past life, to repay the Wu family for their investment in him, my father volunteered information about my highly fertile constitution and arranged my marriage to Wu Jing. Within 2 months of marriage, Wu Jing, who had previously been diagnosed with oligospermia, impregnated me with twins. The Wu family elders were overjoyed, showering me with luxury cars and mansions until I could hardly keep track. But on the very day I gave birth, Wu Jing brutally killed the babies and imprisoned me. Subjecting me to relentless torment, I cried and demanded to know why she would do such a thing. Wu Jing slapped me and said, "I never had oligospermia. Your father fabricated the medical report and spread it to force me into marrying into a wealthy family. He even drove Ro abroad, causing her to suffer from depression and nearly die at home." Wu Jing severed the tendons in my wrists and ankles and left me in a pile of corpses. Aren't you supposed to be highly fertile? Let's see if you can get pregnant by a dead man's child. I was left to rot among the dead. Only in my final moments did I realize my father had mistaken the person he owed gratitude to. Someone else was the true benefactor of our family. My father was relentlessly targeted by Wu Jing at every turn, ultimately driven to jump to his death. I deeply regret ever having a child with that scoundrel Wu Jing. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day old Master Wu came to our home. Old Master Wu grasped my hand. "Are you really that fertile? You get pregnant easily, even if it's a case of low sperm count." I shook my head slightly. "If it really is low sperm count, it's better to seek medical treatment. This fertile constitution is just something my father believes. Please don't take it too seriously. My so-called fertile constitution is practically a family secret. In my past life, if my father hadn't misjudged that investor, I wouldn't have ended up marrying Wu Jing and having his child. Not only did he fail to thank me, but he even brought ruin upon our entire family. I want to see if Wu Jing would end up without an heir if I never marry into the Wu family in this lifetime. I've made myself perfectly clear, yet old Master Wu still pretends not to know." Yeah, I know you're a filial and good child. Since Wu Jing has reached the age to marry and start a family anyway, you might as well join the Wu household. After all, marrying anyone is still marrying. The Wu family holds immense power and wealth in the capital. As long as old Master Wu hasn't given up on making me marry Wu Jing, he'll definitely find other ways to force my hand. It seems I'll have to come up with another plan. Just as I was preparing an excuse to completely dismiss old Master Wu's idea, Wu Jing stormed into the room in a rage. "Grandfather, there's no need to persuade me further. Even if she agrees, I won't marry her. The only woman I'll ever take as my wife is Ruru." Seeing Wu Jing's completely different attitude compared to his past life, I began to form a quiet suspicion in my mind. Old Master Wu said with a stern expression, "Wu Jing, but you have oligospermia. The Wu family lineage must not end with you." Wu Jing shot me a furious glare before throwing a medical report in front of old Master Wu. "Grandfather, look at this report. It clearly shows all my results are normal. There's absolutely no oligospermia." Old Master Wu took the medical report with a frown. "But the previous report, and all the rumors going around, said you." Wu Jing grew even angrier, pointing at me. "Grandfather, you've been deceived. The low sperm count diagnosis is nothing but a scheme cooked up by Su Yu and her father. She just wants to marry into our Wu family." The way old Master Wu looked at me completely changed. He stared at me as if I were a plague carrier, then had his assistant help him leave, taking all the gifts he'd brought with him. I was utterly disgusted by the Wu family's behavior and immediately went to the bathroom to wash my hands. But Wu Jing came after me anyway. "Su Yu." I didn't want to engage with Wu Jing, so I pretended not to hear him and kept washing my hands. "Su Yu, I'm talking to you. Can't you understand?" Wu Jing grabbed my arm, but I shook him off. My reaction infuriated him, and he clutched his side in anger. Given his health condition, he really shouldn't be getting worked up like this. I took a step back and eyed him warily. "What do you think you're doing?" My defensive stance only made him angrier. "Su Yu, what's with the attitude? Weren't you the one always clinging to me like a lost puppy? Why are you treating me like this now?" I frowned because I thought she was our family's benefactor. That's why I cared so much and treated him so kindly. But it wasn't him who invested in our family. He's the one who killed my child and destroyed our Su family. Why should I still grovel and show him concern? "Mr. Wu must be mistaken. We've never met before. This is our first time seeing each other." I had just dried my hands when Wu Jing threw a basin of water at me. "Su Yu, you bitch, stop pretending. I knew you were also reborn the moment you rejected this marriage proposal in front of Grandpa." I looked up at Wu Jing, who was acting all high and mighty in front of me, and splashed a basin of water right in his face. "So what if you know I'm reborn?" Wu Jing raised his hand to hit me, but I caught him off guard and kicked him. He crouched down, clutching the spot where he'd been kicked, and spat out a threat. "Don't you dare try to fool me again in this lifetime. I don't have low sperm count, I'm perfectly healthy, our Wu family isn't your Su family's investor, and don't you go bragging about your so-called fertile constitution or your ability to bear children for the Wu family, my Ro can do that too." Watching Wu Zheng's smug expression, I felt nothing but disgust, but then again, he's about to end his bloodline anyway, so I didn't see the point in arguing with him any further. He had been reborn too, Wu Zheng. Rest assured, now that I know the truth, I will never be with you again in this lifetime, and I certainly won't be foolish enough to carry on your family line. Wu Zheng's face turned absolutely livid upon hearing my sarcastic remark. I ignored him and turned to walk out of the Su residence. A black sports car sped past me. If I'm not mistaken, that was Ji Lian's car. He's the actual investor behind our Su family. In his previous life, he lost his eligibility as the Qi family's heir because he had no children. In the end, he was ruined by business rivals and died a tragic death on the streets. A good man shouldn't meet such a fate. This time, I won't let him repeat the mistakes of his past life and end up like that again. My expression changed, and I prepared to drive after him. But that bastard Wu Jing actually called his bodyguards to drag me down to his basement. "Wu Jing, you bastard, I already told you we're done for good. What the hell are you doing?" Wu Jing sneered contemptuously. "You used to love me so much that you even had your father spread rumors about my low sperm count, claiming only your fertile body could continue the Wu family line. Did you really think I'd believe you? Just call it off now." Seeing how stupid Wu Jing was being, I couldn't help but try to knock some sense into him. "It wasn't my dad who said you have low sperm count, that came from the hospital lab. Don't you even know your own medical condition?" I was trying to say that my father and I never deceived him from the very beginning, but after hearing what I said, Wu Jing became even angrier. "Su you bitch, in my past life, when I went abroad to visit Ro, she told me that you and your father bribed the doctor to falsify my medical report and diagnose me with oligospermia. As for my kidney pain, it was because you and your father, under the pretense of helping me, had the hospital prescribe medication that damaged my kidneys, so that's how it was." No wonder Wu Jing was so ruthless toward me and my family in our past life. He even wanted to grind our bones to dust, but I've never had any grudge against Tang Ro. Why on earth would she accuse my father and me of being the masterminds behind this? I'm absolutely furious with Wu Jing's stupidity. "Wu Jing, do your damn research. My father and I have never done anything to harm you, you bitch." Still denying it. "Whatever, Ro is waiting for me. I don't have time for your acting. Our engagement ceremony is in 2 days, and you won't stop it. After the ceremony, I'll let you go. Until then, just stay put right here." After saying this, Wu Jing shot me a vicious glare, turned around, and stormed out. I tried to dash out through the gap when Wu Jing opened the door, but the bodyguard stopped me. The light gradually faded before my eyes as the bodyguard locked me back in the basement. Fuming with anger, I stomped my foot and immediately called the police. The police arrived quickly, and of course, Wu Jing and Tang Ro were with them. Since no actual harm was done and the Wu family has considerable influence, the police only made Wu Jing issue a verbal apology. After the police left, Wu Jing glared at me with a face dark as thunder. "Su you, how dare you call the police and accuse me of kidnapping you?" I sneered. "What else was I supposed to do? Just let you lock me in the basement and starve me to death?" Wu Jing clenched his fists. "It's only been 2 or 3 days. How could you starve? There was water in there." No wonder Wu Jing was so confident. In my past life, after I got pregnant and Tang Ro was driven to despair, he punished me exactly like this, locking me in the basement for 2 or 3 days with nothing but water. At the time, I kept thinking that since he had married me and the Wu family's company was about to enter its next round of financing, I didn't want to cause him trouble, so I endured it, surviving on just water and sheer willpower for those few days. But I've already been killed by her once. Now that I know who truly helped the Su family, I won't just swallow my pride and suffer in silence like I did in my past life. All I want now is to stay far away from Wu Jing and the entire Wu family. I don't want any of their bad luck rubbing off on me. "Wu Jing, you can marry whoever you want. I won't cause any trouble, because I never liked you in the first place." Wu Jing brushed off my words dismissively. "You don't like me. Wasn't calling the police just your way of sabotaging the engagement party to get back at me for not marrying you?" Convinced I was acting out of jealousy, Wu Jing exposed online that my father and I had forged a medical report, hoping to marry into his wealthy family by claiming I was highly fertile. In the days that followed, every time I stepped outside, I'd hear all sorts of gossip, and people would even point fingers and whisper about me. "That's Suyu, the one who got exposed online for trying to marry into the Wu family. She even claimed that young Master Wu has oligospermia and can't have children, while boasting about her own high fertility, saying she could carry on the Wu family line. Young Master Wu and Miss Tang Rou are a perfect match, a real power couple. Who does she think she is, trying to break them up and marry into wealth? Some people even picked up mud and threw it at me. Ugh, daring to be a homewrecker. This is what you get. Trash like her belongs in the dumpster forever. Coming out just ruins lives. I was insulted and bullied, and while I was being mocked, Wu Jing was still chilling in the air-conditioned room. He took a photo of me in my disheveled state and sent it to me, saying, "Consider this a little lesson from me. If you dare show your face around me again or keep pestering me, I'll make sure your entire family is utterly destroyed." Even after all that's happened, Wu Jing still thinks I'm in love with him and insists I'm desperate to marry him. I turned off my phone screen. I hope that arrogant narcissist Wu Jing keeps that smug look on his face when he's officially disowned by his family. When I got home, my mother was sobbing quietly on the couch, while my father was desperately apologizing and explaining to the client in an attempt to save the company. My father sighed. "I just wanted to repay the Wu family for their kindness. Why is it so difficult, Dad? You've got the wrong person to repay." The Wu family only claimed they invested after hearing about my high fertility. The real investor behind our family was actually Qi Lian. After revealing the truth and comforting my parents, I contacted old Master Qi. I confessed about my high fertility and willingly agreed to marry Qi Lian to bear a great-grandson for the Qi family. Old Master Qi also believed in the concept of high fertility and agreed without hesitation. At the Qi residence, Old Master Qi patted my shoulder and placed a card in front of me. Yeah, regardless of whether you can bear an heir for Qi Lian, the 80 million in this card is yours to keep. If you have a child, whether you choose to remain as the young mistress of the Qi family or remarry, we will ensure you are well taken care of. Also, I've heard the Su family's company is under attack. Rest assured, I will send someone to handle it immediately. I wasn't concerned about the money or these matters. All I wanted was to repay Qilian's kindness to our Su family. I want to get married to Qilian tomorrow, so we can have an heir sooner and put your minds at ease. Old Master Qi shook his head at my words. Absolutely not. It's already asking too much of you to bear a child for that boy Qilian. The Qi family will not cut corners when it comes to the wedding. You'll have everything others have, and more. The ceremony will be in 2 days, and we'll make sure you receive the respect you deserve. That would make it exactly 1 day before Wu Jing and Tang Rou's engagement. I had no issue with the wedding date, but when Wu Jing found out, he suddenly showed up at my place and caused a scene. "Suyu, you're going to marry Qi Lian. Did I give you permission?" Wu Jing's furious expression made it look like someone had laid hands on his property. Hearing Wu Jing's words, I couldn't help but find it ridiculous. In my past life, I married him and he destroyed my family. He's clearly upset that I'm marrying someone else in this lifetime. Is this guy mentally deficient or something? Who I choose to marry is my decision. What's it to you? Wu Jing, you're such a narcissist. Don't tell me you actually think I'm still hung up on you. Wu Jing grabbed my arm and demanded, "Isn't that exactly what this is? You agreed to marry Qi Lian, and scheduled the wedding right before my engagement party with Ruru, all just to get my attention and make me come back for you, wasn't it?" I pulled my hand away in disgust. I married Qi Lian to bear his child and repay his kindness. Suyue, there's a limit to playing hard to get. If you cross that line, you'll only make me despise you. Don't even think about attending Qilian's wedding. Go back to our old place and stay there from now on. Wu Jing deliberately moved closer, whispering in my ear in a hushed tone while blowing a warm breath against my skin. I pushed Wu Jing away with revulsion, wiping my ear. "Wu Jing, are you asking me to be your mistress? Your secret lover?" Wu Jing frowned and said, "The only reason I'm even considering keeping you as my mistress is out of respect for our past relationship. Don't push your luck." After saying that, Wu Jing turned and walked out. With a dark expression, I took out a disinfectant wipe and cleaned the spot where he had touched. That arrogant fool Wu Jing. I can't wait to see him get kicked out of the Wu family after marrying Tang Rou and end up begging on the streets, on my wedding day. I ran into Wu Jing in the wedding car while he was out shopping for a necklace. Wu Jing spotted me and pulled his car in front of the Qi family's vehicle, blocking my way. "Suyu, you're really pushing your luck. I already offered to make you my mistress, and you still have the nerve to accidentally run into me. Running into that arrogant jerk on my wedding day was just my luck." I suppressed my anger. "If your eyesight is that bad, go see an ophthalmologist. This is the road from my house to the hotel. I wasn't trying to run into you." Wu Jing didn't believe my explanation at all. Instead, he pointed at me and said, "That story wouldn't even fool a ghost. Do you really think Chilean would marry you? You're just playing hard to get, deliberately trying to seduce me." The moment Wu Jing finished speaking, he clutched his kidney and curled up on the ground in pain. His face contorted with pure rage. I stood coldly before him from start to finish, with no intention of helping him. It seems Wu Zhang's condition has progressed beyond oligospermia. His kidneys are now severely compromised. Wu Zhang brought this upon himself. He has no one else to blame for such an outcome. Just as bystanders pulled out their phones to call emergency services, Tang Rou appeared and stopped them. "Why call an ambulance? Ajing is perfectly fine." As she spoke, Tang Rou produced painkillers, poured them out, and fed them to Wu Jing. After swallowing the painkillers, Wu Jing visibly relaxed considerably. He glared at me viciously. "Don't think I'll believe you just because I'm in pain. My body is failing because of the medicine you and your father gave me. You wretched woman, anyone who stays with you is cursed. Ro can bear my children just as well, and I'll still inherit the Wu family fortune." Wu Jing got up from the ground and grabbed Tang Rou's hand. I couldn't help but laugh at Wu Zhang's stupidity. This guy really is a delusional narcissist with two brain cells to rub together. "The only person I've ever wanted to marry is Qi Lian. Could you stop making everything about yourself? If your brain isn't working properly, go see a doctor instead of seeking attention here." Wu Jing was infuriated by my words and pointed his finger at me. Before he could utter a word, Qi Lian appeared before me in his leather shoes. He reached out, forcing Wu Zhang's hand back. "Honey, did he hurt you?" I smiled and said, "I'm fine." Wu Jing didn't lay a finger on me. He's all talk and no action. Only then did Qilian breathe a sigh of relief at my words. Wu Jing angrily, "Qilian, this woman is a fraud. She's not some highly fertile type at all. It's all a lie she made up." Overwhelmed by rage, Wu Jing's kidney pain flared up again, and he curled up on the ground in agony. Someone like him deserves to suffer from this illness for the rest of his life, until he dies. Qilian kicked Wu Jing aside like trash, then gently took my hand. Yeah, let's go. We don't want to miss the auspicious time." Qilian's eyes were fixed on me as he lifted me into the car. Wu Jing struggled on the ground, reaching for the hem of my dress, his white suit now stained and dirty. "Ruru, my kidneys are killing me. What's happening to me?" Tang Rou's face turned deathly pale as she pulled out the painkillers and handed the entire bottle to Wu Jing. "So you and her father must have given you an excessive dose. A single painkiller won't help you now. You might as well take the whole bottle." Wu Jing nodded and proceeded to swallow all the painkillers in the bottle, but after taking it, Wu Jing showed no sign of relief. Instead, the pain intensified. With no other options, Tang Rou had to take Wu Jing to the hospital. Wu Jing's face contorted in agony. "Ruru, is this painkiller expired? Why did it do nothing for me? How is that even possible?" Tang Rou's eyes were filled with terror. "In your previous life, your health was always perfectly fine. You even had children with Su Yu and inherited the entire Wu family fortune. There's no way you could have been sick." Upon hearing Tang Rou's words, Wu Jing's face turned completely pale. "Ruru, what are you trying to say? Are you seriously telling me with such certainty that the medical reports were forged? You mean all this kidney pain I'm suffering is because Su Yu and her father drugged me, and all this time you had no actual evidence? It was all just your wild speculation." "Tang Rou, you idiot, this is all your fault." Wu Jing was so enraged by Tang Rou that he fainted on the spot. After examining Wu Jing, the doctor immediately issued a critical condition notice. The patient initially had oligospermia, which later developed into prostate cancer. The kidney pain is due to metastasis. While it was previously under control, the condition progressed rapidly after he stopped medication. He now has only days to live. What kind of quack diagnosis is this? How could I possibly have advanced prostate cancer? Did Su Yu bribe you to say this? Wu Jing woke up, glared at the doctor and began shouting insults, then turned to look at old Master Wu standing nearby. "Grandfather, find Su Yu and bring her here. Even if I'm dying, I'll make sure she goes with me." Old Master Wu's eyes welled up with tears. Wu Jing was his only grandson, and if he were to die, the Wu family would fall into the hands of a distant branch. "But Ajing," he pleaded, "Su Yu is already married to Qi Lian. She would never agree to be buried alive with you." Wu Jing gritted his teeth. "She was head over heels in love with me. She'd gladly join me in death." "Grandpa, do you really want your grandson to journey to the afterlife all alone?" By the time old Master Wu brought Wu Jing to the wedding banquet, Qi Lian and I had just finished the ceremony. The moment old Master Wu saw me, he began shouting, Yeah, my dear granddaughter-in-law, Ajing has realized his mistake. He says even death won't keep him from being with you." The moment old Master Wu said this, all the guests fell silent. I clutched Qilian's suit tightly. Old Master Wu now puts on a good guy act, but when Wu Jing tormented me in my past life, he never lifted a finger to stop it. When my parents were forced to jump off the building, he turned a blind eye. In this lifetime, he's once again letting his grandson spread malicious rumors about me and my father out there. Now he wants me to be buried alongside his grandson, all while putting on this pitiful old man act. Not a single decent person comes from the Wu family. Jillian stepped in front of me, blocking old Master Wu's view. Suyu is my wife now, part of the Qi family. The Wu family has no right to make demands here. The guests finally caught on and began discussing among themselves in hushed tones. The atmosphere grew increasingly awkward until old Master Qi finally stepped in and summoned the Wu family to a private room. Though Wu Jing had but days to live, his arrogance remained undiminished. Qi Lian, he sneered. Surely you don't actually believe Suyu married you because she wants to bear your children. She's merely playing hard to get. It's all just a ploy to capture my attention. I rolled my eyes in disbelief. Wu Jing, your narcissism knows no bounds. Even at death's door, you're still this delusionally confident. 3. Wu Jing let out a weary sigh. Yeah, I know you're jealous because I was going to marry Ruru, but I've seen her true colors now. We've broken up. At tomorrow's engagement ceremony, you'll be the bride. It's like casting pearls before swine. Jillian was also frowning nearby. Before I could answer, Wu Jing continued, our Wu family and the Qi family have been close friends for generations. Jillian, you're not really going to cut ties with our family, even our business dealings, over this woman, are you? Many branches of the Qi family are vying for the heir position, and Jillian's standing is far from secure. Jillian held my hand firmly and said, we're married now, you're my wife, and I'll always protect you. Just as Killian Gang was about to reject Wu Jing, I stopped him. I stepped forward to stand by Jillian's side. Jillian and I are married. We've even gotten our marriage certificate already. It's alright. I don't mind. If you're willing to divorce Jillian and be with me, I'll even increase my investment in the Su family. Wu Jing let out a sinister laugh, practically itching for me to get divorced just so I'd suffer alongside him. Jillian's face was etched with fury. If the Wu family is so eager to call off the partnership, then so be it. The Qi family has no shortage of business allies. Seeing Jillian stand up for me warmed my heart. It was a feeling I'd never experienced in my past life. I tugged gently at Jillian's sleeve, but to Wu Jing, it just looked like I had a guilty conscience. He grew increasingly smug. Jillian, see, I told you Suyue is head over heels for me. She won't even let you speak now. I'm absolutely certain. Not only would she agree to divorce for me, she'd even have my child right this moment if I asked. Old Master Wu seized the moment, adding, my dear daughter-in-law, come now, let's take Ajing and return to the Wu family together. As they spoke, both Old Master Wu and Wu Jing reached out to grab me, but I shook them off. I no longer held any affection for them. I'm not going anywhere with you. If you keep harassing me here, I'll have no choice but to call security. I said coldly. Wu Jing, it seems your mental faculties are as compromised as your physical health. I suggest you get yourself to a hospital for a checkup before you wind up a fool in the grave. Wu Jing suppressed his anger and said, yeah, name your terms, whatever you want. If it's within my power, I'll make it happen. Tang Rou has been badmouthing me behind my back. Aren't you going to do anything about it? Thinking he'd caught my drift, Wu Jing nodded eagerly. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll handle this right away. The Wu family had left, leaving only Qi Lian and me in the room. Qi Lian looked at me hesitantly and said, did you marry me just to repay a favor, to bear my child and secure my position as the heir? I nodded. That was indeed my intention. Qi Lian looked at me with unwavering and earnest eyes. I invested in the Su family purely because I saw potential in them, not for any personal gain. If you want a divorce, just say the word. I'll make sure you get everything you're entitled to, down to the last penny. I looked back at Jillian, my expression a mix of complicated emotions. To be precise, Jillian and I have met no more than 5 times, otherwise, I wouldn't have ended up marrying Wu Jing in my past life. Even if we don't have feelings for each other now, I'm confident that affection will grow over time, just from how he stood up for me earlier. I can tell Jillian is an absolutely wonderful person. This is exactly how I imagine a true benefactor should be. I smiled and gently placed my hand on my belly. But I'm already carrying your child, Master Qi. Are you really sure you want a divorce? Jillian looked stunned and immediately shook his head. No, absolutely not. But you're pregnant already, so soon? I nodded emphatically. Of course, I have a highly fertile constitution. It only takes the slightest touch for me to conceive. Jillian picked me up, helped remove my makeup, and tucked me into bed. As he turned to leave the room, I wrapped my arms around him. Chilean, we're married, you don't need to go to another room, let's sleep together. Chilean nodded and said, okay. He lay beside me, gently pressing his ear against my belly to listen to the baby's movements. We only did it once. Could I really be pregnant? My cheeks flushed. Why would I lie? I told you I'm highly fertile. But it's still early, we'll need to wait a bit longer for an ultrasound so you can see the baby. Chilean was overjoyed and spent the whole night discussing plans for after the baby's arrival. The next morning, I was woken by my phone ringing. When I answered, Tang Ro's shrill, angry voice blasted through the receiver. Suyu, what are you trying to do? You're already married to Chi Lian. So why are you getting Wu Jing to come after me? I've been tormented beyond recognition, and the Tang family is on the verge of bankruptcy. Hearing Tang Ro's words, I felt a surge of satisfaction. Don't you know why? You've been whispering all sorts of lies about me and my family to Wu Jing. You brought this on yourself. When someone schemes against me, it's only natural to retaliate. Tang Ro wasn't the least bit ashamed when I called her out. Instead, she became even more brazen. Zhang and I were meant to be together. You're the one who forced your way in as the other woman, claiming you had a high fertility rate and could quickly carry on the Wu family line. You drove me to the brink of leaving the country and gave me depression. You can never make up for what you've done. So Tang Ro thought I was the one to blame all along. Do you think I had no choice but to marry Wu Jing? It was Wu Jing who told my family he was our benefactor, and out of gratitude, I agreed to marry him. They lied first. If you want revenge, you should take it up with them. Furious and humiliated, Tang Ro started cursing at me again, but I hung up and blocked her number right away. Not long after dealing with Tang Ro, Wu Jing fell gravely ill and couldn't even get out of bed. He called and begged me to come over, and I agreed. I'd be more than happy to watch him suffer a painful death. Suyu, my grandson is in this state. When are you planning to come take care of him? Old Master Wu saw me and immediately grabbed my wrist, dragging me toward the hospital bed. Chilean shoved Old Man Wu aside and shielded me in his arms. Take care of him. I can't even bear to let my wife lift a finger, and you expect her to look after your grandson. Realizing he'd been tricked, Old Man Wu raised his hand to strike, but Chilean was quicker, slapping him first, daring to hit my wife right in front of me. Some respect for your elders. Wu Jing saw his grandfather being beaten and struggled to get up from the bed, all the while shouting furiously, Suyu, you bitch, how dare you mess with me like this? I hope you die a horrible death. He tried to crawl over to hit me, but he had no strength left and ended up collapsing to the floor. I walked over and stepped on his hand. You brought this upon yourself. Despair washed over Wu Jing's face as the doctor rushed in and issued another critical condition notice. I watched Wu Jing suffer through his final moments on that hospital bed without an ounce of sympathy. 2 weeks later, I gave birth to a healthy pair of twins, a boy and a girl. Watching Chilean flustredly feeding and changing diapers for our 2 babies, my heart swelled with overwhelming gratitude. What began as mere repayment of a debt unexpectedly blessed me with this extraordinary husband. On our children's full moon celebration, news broke that Chilean had acquired the entire Wu family empire. The Wu enterprises ceased to exist, and Patriarch Wu, unable to bear the devastation, took his own life by jumping from a building. Every villain finally received their deserved retribution. What happened in my past life is now behind me. From now on, I will grow happier with my 2 children and Chilean. Story 2. After rebirth, I got myself a Yandere husband. My sister and I were reborn together. This time she let me have the gloomy Yandere tycoon husband, while she married into the recently bankrupt Gu family. Sis, now it's your turn to experience living with a creep. The man kept nuzzling against me in my arms, mumbling, honey, be sweet to me again. Hello, the guy's paying 3 million a month. So what if he's a bit Yandere? What's he done wrong? 1. The moment I opened my eyes, I heard my sister Jiang Xing clamoring to marry into the Gu family. I knew then. She had been reborn too. My parents' expressions changed instantly. They've always favored my younger sister. I'm only a year older than Jiang Xing, yet I always had to give way to her. The Gu family just went bankrupt. You'll only suffer if you go there. Let your sister go instead. She's older and more sensible than you. Seeing her parents' refusal, Jiang Xing immediately threw a tantrum and even threatened to go on a hunger strike. In the end, Mr. and Mrs. Jiang couldn't bear to see her suffer and reluctantly agreed. Mother turned to me with a cold tone. You should be grateful to your sister someday. I nodded silently. Even though it was something she'd discarded, I was still expected to be grateful. As Jiang Xing passed by me, she whispered, Sister, now it's your turn to experience what it's like living with a freak. I smiled in response. Did she really think life with the ruined Gu family would be any easier? poverty is the root of all misfortune. 02, in her past life. Jiangxing chose the Qin family without hesitation when faced with the same choice. She fantasized about her future blissful life as a wealthy socialite. Sis, that mess of the Gu family, you're the one who'll have to clean it up. Little did she know, Qin Mu, the eldest son of the Qin family, was a brooding Yandera. On their wedding day, he threatened her to abandon any rebellious thoughts and obediently play the role of Mrs. Qin. She later discovered him self-harming in the study. When Jiangxing tried to escape after learning the truth, the bodyguards captured and confined her at home. She ultimately couldn't bear it anymore and eloped with another man. After Qin Mu found her, they divorced, and Jiangxing's reputation was ruined forever. Yet with my husband Gu Shuyan's support, I built my business from scratch and became a successful female entrepreneur. Gu Shuyan often said, modern women should create their own value rather than live dependent on men. As long as Yaya is willing, I'll always stand behind her with quiet support. These words earned Gu Shuyan the reputation as the model husband of the new era among their social circle. I became the envy of all the society ladies. But this golden period didn't last long. At a family dinner, Jiangxing lured me into her room, set it ablaze, and took us both down in flames. In her final moments, Jiangxing clawed at my legs with a grotesque snarl. Jiangyu, I've always outshone you since childhood. How dare you end up happier than me? Even in death, I'll drag you down with me. The searing pain of the flame still sends shivers down my spine when I recall it. In this lifetime, watching Jiangxing's smug expression of certain victory, I could only shake my head helplessly. If it weren't for me, how could the Gu family have possibly made their comeback? 3. My wedding date was one day earlier than Jiangxing's. Jiangxing has been flaunting how well Gu Shuyan treats her in front of me these days. He showers her with constant attention and companionship. Meanwhile, Qin Mu hasn't visited me even once. Every time I hear this, I can't help but smile. With the Gu family bankrupt, what else can he offer you besides empty affection? When a man chooses to cherish you, you're the moon in his sky. The moment he changes his mind, you become dirt beneath his feet. The Qins actually deliver. Just look at the truckloads of betrothal gifts they've sent these days. After my persistent demands, my parents reluctantly included part of the bride price in my dowry. The marriage alliance with the Qin family was initiated by us to elevate the Jiang family's business. As for the Gu family, our betrothal was arranged since childhood, before the Gu family went bankrupt. We were considered well-matched in social status. With the Gu family now bankrupt, Mr. Jiang couldn't bear the thought of being called a social climber, so he gritted his teeth and honored the engagement. On our wedding day, I finally laid eyes on Qin Mu. His sharp nose supported gold-rimmed glasses, exuding an air of icy detachment. Nothing about him suggested someone capable of self-harm. When the officiant announced the groom could kiss the bride, I hadn't processed it yet and instinctively stepped back. Qin Mu's arm around my waist tightened, forcing me against his chest as his cold lips claimed mine. That night, he lounged on the couch with his tie loosely hanging, shirt half unbuttoned to reveal his sculpted torso. Only then did I catch the faintest whiff of Yandera madness in him. Suddenly, he gripped my chin and leaned down to stare into my eyes with a darkened gaze. This marriage was something your Jiang family begged for. Now that we're wed, you'd better abandon any improper thoughts. You'll receive 3 million monthly. Just play the role of Mrs. Qin in public. Nothing more is required. I don't tolerate others coveting what's mine. If you disobey, I can't be held responsible for what might happen. Before Qin Mu could finish speaking, I yanked his tie down and pressed my lips against his. My gaze had been lingering beneath his unbuttoned shirt this whole time. The way he bent over revealed every sculpted line of his abs in perfect detail. Seriously, who wouldn't get weak in the knees seeing this? 4. After what felt like an eternity, I released him and noticed Qin Mu's crimson-tipped ears. My hand instinctively found its way to his sculpted abs. Pressing my lips to his ear, I exhaled a scorching whisper. Hubby's got quite the physique. Now that we're done talking, shall we move to the next step? Qin Mu shuddered, his voice turning husky. What are you doing? I arched an eyebrow. I'm exercising my wifely rights. Got a problem with that? Sensing my provocation, Qin Mu let out a low chuckle. The next instant, the man removed his gold-rimmed glasses and crushed his lips against mine with domineering, scorching intensity. I felt myself melting completely, half asleep. I had to admit the physical disparity between men and women. I was completely exhausted. Yet he showed no sign of fatigue. When I woke the next afternoon, a jar of ointment sat by my bedside. Qin Mu must have left it there. At least he's got some conscience. After showering, I headed downstairs for dinner when the butler handed me Qin Mu's supplementary credit card. The young master said you may purchase anything you desire. I accepted it with barely concealed delight. What a luxury, getting paid without dawn-to-dusk negotiations or having to humor investors. 5. In my past life, I moved into a shabby rental right after marrying Gu Shuyan. They preached frugality to me while splurging recklessly themselves. Before long, they'd squandered every last bit of my dowry. Checking the time, Jiangxing should have already married into the Gu family by now. My parents had already told me I didn't need to attend the wedding. I wonder how she must feel facing this pack of wolves in sheep's clothing. Thinking about this, I realized I should try harder to stay in Qin Mu's good graces as my benefactor. In the following days, I'd serve Qin Mu his meals, carefully selecting dishes for him. Qin Mu was tired, so I gave him a massage. When Qin Mu wanted to bathe, I quickly went to draw the hot water. At first Qin Mu wasn't quite comfortable with it. I can handle these things myself. That won't do. Didn't you tell me to be a proper Mrs. Qin? When my husband works so hard, of course his wife should take good care of him. Truth be told, taking this much money without doing anything would weigh on my conscience. Qin Mu remained silent with an indifferent expression, but I caught the subtle smirk he tried to hide. Sometimes I'd drop by his office to bring him lunch. It wasn't until my past life as a female entrepreneur that I understood why 9 out of 10 CEOs suffer from stomach problems. When they get busy, they genuinely don't have time to eat. In Qin Mu's office, I saw a female secretary wearing a deep V-neck blouse. Her gaze at Qin Mu was practically dripping with desire. During the meal, I casually remarked, "Your secretary is quite attractive, with a nice figure too." Qin Mu instantly caught my drift. Without even glancing my way, he simply said, "Don't be unreasonable." I shot him a discreet glare, but when I visited again later, I noticed Qin Mu had replaced her with a male assistant. Rumor has it that female secretary got transferred to assist another executive. Alright, turns out he's just a tsundere with an attitude. I really thought things between Qin Mu and me were getting better, but then one day, he suddenly started avoiding me. 6. Every night he'd use work as an excuse to sleep in the study. We used to have breakfast together, but now I hardly ever see him. Even I'm not that clueless. I know he's avoiding me. I planned to wait for him at home today to get some answers, but then a friend texted inviting me for afternoon tea. When I arrived, Jiangxing was there too. Her usual dazzling jewelry was gone, and she was still carrying last year's handbag. Seems she's been bleeding money for the family, yet she kept that cheerful smile plastered on her face. Only when she noticed my head-to-toe limited edition pieces did her eyes flicker with something unreadable. Gone as quickly as it came. When asked about having children, Jiangxing's smile froze. "My husband says there's no rush. He can't bear the thought of me becoming a mother so young. So we're putting it off for now." Everyone immediately praised Gu Shuyan as an exceptionally considerate husband. Judging by Jiangxing's reaction, she must have already noticed. Gu Shuyan wasn't worried at all. Soon enough, she'd be the one panicking. Jiangxing shot me a murderous glare when he noticed my poorly suppressed smile. His gaze dropped to the red marks on my hand, and a smug grin spread across his face. "What happened to your hand, sis? They say Qin Mu has a terrible temper. Did he hit you?" I glanced at the red marks on my wrist. Qin Mu was responsible, but not in the way they thought. He'd tied me up with his necktie instead. The man was an absolute animal. Even now, remembering that scene makes my cheeks burn. To everyone else, this scene made me look guilty, which only brightened Jiangxing's mood. "Sis, a marriage without love is truly pitiful." 7. After the gathering, Gu Shuyan took a taxi to pick up Jiangxing. The onlookers couldn't help but feel envious again. I'd called for the family driver, but to my surprise, Qin Mu showed up instead. Before even stepping out of the store, I spotted him waiting in the car. Our eyes met, and I instinctively quickened my pace. Jiangxing suddenly stuck out his foot, tripping me. I nearly fell before a nearby waiter caught me. "Thank you," I said to the other person. When I looked up, Qin Mu had already stepped out of the car. His gaze icy as it locked onto the waiter's hand touching my shoulder. Qin Mu strode over, quickly scanning me to confirm I wasn't hurt before wordlessly pulling me away. Perhaps Qin Mu's presence was too intimidating. Not a single person around dared to speak, all casting sympathetic looks my way. Jiangxingsa parted her lips slowly. Reading her lips, I knew she was saying, "Sis, good luck." Once in the car, Qin Mu didn't lay a finger on me, just drove in silence without uttering a single word the entire way. His expression gradually softened, and the oppressive atmosphere around him lightened. Did this guy actually manage to cheer himself up? As soon as we got home, Qin Mu headed straight for the study. I couldn't help but ask, "Still not sleeping in the master bedroom tonight?" Qin Mu turned around. The unspoken understanding between adults was crystal clear. Qin Mu stepped closer. suddenly gripping my waist and pulling me into his arms. A disturbingly captivating smile played on his lips. "Not afraid of me?" I arched a brow, pressing my lips to the man's Adam's apple. "Afraid of you? Let's try something different this time." 8. Qin Mu's breath hitched, the restraint in his eyes vanishing completely. "Jiang Yu, don't you dare ask me to stop later." His hand slowly trailed up my shoulder as his voice turned icy. "Where did he touch you? Here, or here?" "Oh no. Payback's coming." Before I could react, Qin Mu sank his teeth into my shoulder. A soft moan escaped my lips. Qin Mu leaned down and silenced me with a kiss. The kiss felt magical, completely consuming me. I could only cling to him instinctively. In the dead of night, I felt gentle fingers caressing my cheek. Yeah, you started this. I won't hold back anymore. Don't even think about escaping me." In the following days, Qin Mu spent increasingly more time at home. He stopped going to his study at night, insisting on holding me as we slept. From Jiang Xing's accounts in our past life, I knew Qin Mu kept self-harm tools in his study. Naturally, I also hoped he'd stay away from that study. Sometimes when deeply asleep, Qin Mu would unconsciously nuzzle into my arms, murmuring drowsily, "Darling, be sweet to me," a complete contrast to his cold, composed daytime demeanor. According to Butler Chen, Qin Mu used to need heavy doses of sleeping pills to fall asleep every night, but after being with me, he never touched it again. I was genuinely happy to be able to help him. While Qin Mu was at work, I kept myself busy at home, drawing from my past life's knowledge. I invested Qin Mu's money and my Jiang family dowry into several promising funds and stocks, making a substantial profit in no time. Now she's become a genuine little rich woman. Screw being some career woman. All I want in this life is to be loaded. This world imposes far too many definitions and expectations on women. Whether career elites or homemakers, women shouldn't be defined by any labels. I can become whoever I choose to be. 09. Later, when I went back to the Jiang residence to collect my belongings, I accidentally overheard Mom talking to Jiang Xing on the phone. From their conversation, I realized Jiang Xing was asking to borrow money. It was quite a substantial amount, more than Mom could possibly lend her. Jiang Xing urged her to borrow money, explaining he needed startup capital for his business venture. If even her own mother wouldn't help her, she might as well die. In the end, her mother agreed. Hearing this, I lost interest and walked away. In my past life, Gu Shuyan also asked me to borrow money from home to start a business, but I refused. Temporary handouts can't buy lasting stability. To live well, the most important thing is standing on your own feet. So I started with a small shop, when I couldn't afford help. I did everything myself. Every single investment was secured through my forced smiles and liquor-soaked networking. And what was Gu Shuyan doing all that time? All he did was put on airs at home, a lazy glutton who smoked, drank, and gambled his days away. Jiang Xing believed enough capital would buy her freedom and transform her into the enviable career woman everyone admired. Little do they know, true freedom never existed in this world. To break free from the cage, one must rely on genuine capability. 10. Who would have thought Jiang Xing, besieged by internal and external crises, still found time to bother me? At some point, rumors started circulating that Qin Mu was a pervert. While I'd been enduring his domestic abuse all along, these marks on my body were all from his beatings. After some investigation, turns out it was my dear sister who spread the rumors. But these marks on me really aren't from being hit. Yet I can't go around explaining to everyone how I got these marks. That night, I sank my teeth viciously into Qin Mu's shoulder. "Could you be gentler next time? You have no idea what people are saying about us." Qin Mu paused, laughing bitterly at himself. Maybe I really am a pervert. Then he crushed me against his chest. "If I were a pervert, would you leave me?" There was a barely detectable tremor of fear in Qin Mu's voice. I kissed him lightly and said, "Don't worry, these days, who doesn't have some mental health struggles? I do too, so let's not judge each other." I could feel all the kindness Qin Mu had shown me during this time. He practically never said no to anything I asked. For someone who'd never known affection, I finally tasted what it felt like to be cared for. I'll admit it, my heart skipped a beat too. Qin Mu's shoulders relaxed with a relieved laugh at my words. The thing that had been weighing on him turned out to be just a common quirk in my telling. Because I care, I want to know more about Qin Mu. Qin Mu's body is covered with dense scars, including self-inflicted cuts on his wrists. I once cautiously asked him about the origin of those scars. Qin Mu didn't want to answer. If I pressed further, he'd silence me with a fierce kiss. Eventually I learned some details from Butler Chen. As the Qin family's longtime steward, Butler Chen knew all their best-kept secrets. He revealed that Qin Mu had been kidnapped by traffickers at age 10. Mr. and Mrs. Qin searched desperately, but couldn't find any trace of him. Eventually they gave up and adopted another boy from the orphanage, naming him Qin Xiao, yet no one expected Qin Mu to suddenly return on his own 3 years later. 11. He was covered in blood and dirt, with hollow eyes and disheveled hair. The servant mistook him for a beggar and even hit him with a broom a few times. In the end, it was Butler Chen who recognized Qin Mu and carried him to the hospital. At that time, Qin's parents were happily attending Qin Zhao's parent-teacher conference. Upon learning of Qin Mu's return, they didn't immediately show concern for their son, but instead rushed to comfort Qin Xiao, tell him that even if his brother returns, it won't change his place in their hearts. In their eyes, Qin Xiao remains their most outstanding son. These words were heard clearly by Qin Mu inside the hospital room. After returning, Qin Mu was no longer the cheerful soul he once was, becoming withdrawn and reclusive instead. No one knew what he had been through those 3 years. When Qin's parents found out, instead of offering psychological support, they accused their son of changing, growing distant, and not being as charming as Qin Xiao. Eventually, they devoted themselves entirely to Qin Xiao. During school days, Qin Xiao would rally classmates to mock Qin Mu together. They bullied him because he stayed silent, making people mistake Qin Mu for the adopted son while he was the true heir of the Qin family. Finally, Qin Mu couldn't take it anymore and beat up all his tormentors. He even smashed Qin Zhao's head open. Without even hearing his side of the story, Qin's mother slapped him right in front of everyone. From that moment on, everyone assumed Qin Mu was at fault, and no one at school dared to befriend him, though to be fair, nobody dared to bully him either. At this point in the story, Butler Chen's eyes grew moist with emotion. I've watched the young master grow up, and no one truly understands the pain he carries. That's why when he decided to leave the Qin family, I followed without hesitation. I simply couldn't bear the thought of him having no one who genuinely cared by his side. I gave Butler Chen a reassuring pat on the back, promising him I'd take good care of Qin Mu from now on. As for parents like that, there's nothing worth holding on to. It's best we never cross paths again. Little did I expect that Qin's mother would call just a few days later. 12. While Qin Mu and I were having dinner, his mother called and invited us over for dinner the next evening. Qin Mu initially refused, but they insisted there was something important to discuss. In the end, we decided to go. The moment we stepped in, we saw 3 people chatting and laughing on the sofa. Mr. and Mrs. Qin's smiles faded slightly when they noticed us. Qin Xiao, however, remained unfazed and greeted me warmly, complimenting how I looked even more beautiful than on our wedding day. I responded with a faint smile and a nod. After several conversations, I finally grasped the depth of Qin Zhao's cunning. His words dripped with honeyed flattery, but his eyes betrayed cold calculation and deceit. It was obvious he wanted to recruit me to join his faction against Qin Mu. He'd occasionally flash the scar on his forehead for effect. Their words kept implying that Qin Mu was some violent maniac who might hit me someday too. Turns out when guys play the manipulative victim card, women can't even compete. I countered with a smile. Oh please, my husband only beats up trash. The room fell dead silent at that. Qin Zhao's smile faltered as he awkwardly walked away, avoiding further conversation with me. While discussing company matters, Qin's father abruptly shifted topics. Your younger brother has graduated this year. Prepare to hand over your position to him. From now on, focus on supporting him. The Qin Group was merely an average enterprise a few years ago. It reached its current standing solely through Qin Mu's relentless efforts. Qin Mu scoffed coldly in response. On what grounds? Qin's father slammed the table. Because you're my son, and this company was built by me. I decide who inherits it, then try it. See whether the current board answers to you or me. Qin's mother stormed over and slapped Qin Mu. How did I raise such a son? Is this how you speak to your parents? If I'd known this would happen, you might as well have died at the trafficker's hands. Better than coming back like this. Qin Mu turned his head aside, lips sealed tight with clenched fists. In the end, we left without eating as he dragged me away. The car ride was silent. Qin Mu didn't speak, and I was searching for words to comfort him. He suddenly slammed the brakes, pulling over to the roadside. I'm going to grab some things. Wait for me in the car. Without waiting for my reply, Qin Mu stepped out of the car and left. After what felt like ages with no sign of Qin Mu returning, I grew worried something might have happened and decided to go look for him. I searched for a long time but couldn't find Qin Mu anywhere. Starting to feel scared, I considered retracing my steps back to the car. Suddenly got stopped by a group of thugs. Where'd this chick come from? Out so late, wanna have some fun with us? 13. I forced composure, replying coldly, none of your business. The leader sneered and reached for my shoulder. Stop playing hard to get. Don't worry, we'll treat you right. I dodged sideways, took a few steps back, and warned, "Get lost now or I'm calling the cops." They weren't intimidated. As I kept retreating, they kept advancing. My back hit the wall, nowhere left to retreat. They kept closing in, gripping the pepper spray in my bag. I braced to strike if they came any closer. Before the group could reach me, their leader was yanked backward by his hair and smashed headfirst into the wall. A sickening crack echoed as blood gushed from his skull, the man howling while clutching his head. My vision cleared. It was Chin Mu, just as I'd suspected. His eyes burned crimson with fury, pummeling the remaining men into the ground before they could react. Their fists were stained crimson before the thugs finally scrambled away in panic. Chin Mu watched me standing frozen and sneered, scared. He pulled me into his embrace. "Even if you are, I won't let you go. You're mine for life." Collecting myself, I returned his hug, not scared. "But since you hit them, you can't hit me." Chin Mu paused mid-motion, burying his face in the crook of my neck before suddenly chuckling lowly. "Silly you." My stomach chose that exact moment to growl loudly. "Can't help it." I hadn't had dinner yet. Chin Mu was in much better spirits than before, holding my hand as he took me out for some delicious food. Later, I noticed fresh scars lining Chin Mu's hands and realized he'd been slipping away to self-harm in secret. Chin Mu didn't want me to see him at his lowest. He no longer wants to die, but still struggles with the urge to hurt himself. He couldn't help himself, so he carried a small knife hidden on his person. Chin Mu's therapist told him this stemmed from profound self-loathing. I took the knife from him and said we'd face his episodes together. No more hiding. Chin Mu agreed. Chin Mu's parents called several more times trying to get us to visit, but we turned them down every time. Just days later, my own parents showed up uninvited with Jiangxing in tow. 14, they claimed they'd heard about the domestic violence and came to check on me. I scoffed inwardly. If they truly cared, wouldn't they have come the moment they first heard about it? Just as expected, they quickly revealed their true purpose for coming to see me. Jiangxing wanted to borrow money from me. Doing the math, Jiangxing's savings must have been nearly drained by the Gu family by now, with her entire family leeching off her. The fact that she came to me shows how truly desperate Jiangxing has become, but of course, she would never tell me these things. She just claimed her business was expanding and needed capital, hence coming to borrow from me. Naturally, I refused. Jiangxing's expression darkened. "You've got so much money you can't even spend it. Your husband won't even let you out. Might as well give it to me. I'm going to be a powerhouse woman someday. Don't say I didn't warn you. When your husband loses his mind, your parents' home will be your only refuge. Are you sure you want to burn bridges now?" I smiled faintly. "Burn bridges? You still have dignity to lose. I thought you'd abandoned shame long ago." Jiangxing pointed at me angrily, speechless for a long moment. Dad's face darkened. Yeah. Are you really disobeying your parents now?" "Sorry, but I stopped caring long ago." When Dad raised his hand to hit me, the bodyguard intercepted him. I immediately had security escort all three of them out. Jiangxing tried cursing at me by the doorway, but our embarrassed parents dragged her back inside. This is the first time since birth that I've defied my parents' wishes, because I've learned that endless compromise earns no respect, only escalating demands. Chin Mu wrapped his arms around me from behind. He'd been upstairs the whole time, hearing every word clearly. "They pissed you off. Want me to take care of them for you?" I shook my head. "Karma will catch up with them." 15, later, Mom called again and tore into me. She threatened to cut ties unless I helped Jiangxing. Couldn't ask for more. I hung up and blocked her right away. Later, I ran into Jiangxing again at a dinner party. She was glowing with health, and her smile widened when she saw me. "Sis, did you really think I couldn't make it without your help?" "My husband secured Mr. Zhao's investment this time. The Gu family will be back on its feet soon." I didn't respond, just turned to Gu Shuyan. "You're the one who contacted Mr. Zhao." Gu Shuyan's face betrayed barely contained triumph. Though he struggled to maintain a facade of modesty, "I'd do anything to help Xingxing." I scoffed derisively. When people pretend for too long, they start believing their own act. Gu Shuyan pulled Jiangxing away, saying, "Chairman Zhao's over there. Let's go thank him." Before leaving, Jiangxing shot me a challenging look and muttered, "Anything you can do, I can do too." In my past life, I also secured investment from CEO Zhao, but back then, I already knew exactly what kind of person Gu Shuyan was. He simply didn't have what it took to land such a major investment, so I kept my guard up. Sure enough, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Sometimes the price is more than we can bear. Chin Mu came over and took my hand, his eyes filled with concern. "What's wrong?" I shook my head with a smile. "It's nothing. These were all Jiangxing's own choices. Now I just need to focus on my own path." 16, the banquet ran late into the night. And nearly all the guests opted to stay overnight at the hotel. Qin Mu and I were no exception. The next morning, I got up and headed downstairs for breakfast. Outside another room, I overheard Jiang Xing's furious voice. Gu Shuyan, you bastard, you set me up to entertain Chairman Zhao just to secure that investment. You're useless yourself, yet you'd hand your wife over to another man. You're worse than an animal. With that, Jiang Xing slapped Gu Shuyan hard across the face. Gu Shuyan didn't hold back either, returning the slap and shoving Jiang Xing to the ground. Why else do you think they'd invest? If you hadn't failed to secure the loan, do you think I'd resort to this? I'd advise you to keep quiet. They're holding compromising photos of you. If those get leaked, even I can't help you. With that, Gu Shuyan left the room, leaving Jiang Xing sitting on the floor in utter despair. Spotting me, Jiang Xing lunged at me with venom in his eyes, grabbing for my collar. Why, you knew all along. Why didn't you warn me? Dodging her attack, I said flatly, you made this choice yourself, didn't you? Jiang Xing fell to the ground again and suddenly laughed. So in your past life, you went through the same thing as me. You're just as tainted. We're both filthy. Who's any better than whom? We're both filthy. Both filthy. Jiang Xing kept repeating herself, as if dragging me down to her level would ease her conscience. But my next words shattered her completely. I didn't. Jiang Xing's eyes widened. Impossible. There's no way a woman could have escaped that situation yesterday, because I'm more ruthless than them. 17. Jiang Xing laughed incredulously. Impossible. How could a woman be more ruthless than a man? I didn't answer, walking past Jiang Xing as I left. In my past life, Gu Shuyan got me drunk and took me to Zhao Chong's room. Little did they know, my alcohol tolerance had been honed through countless drinking sessions. I wasn't that easy to get drunk. Besides, I'd already been wary of them. The moment I entered the room, I activated my phone's voice recorder. When Zhao Chong tried to force himself on me, I fought back desperately. Gu Shuyan stood right by the doorway, yet chose to do nothing. Zhao Chong thought he had me cornered, so he dropped all pretense and started spewing vile insults. In the end, I grabbed a bottle from the table and smashed it over his head, pressing the jagged edge against his throat. One wrong move and he'd be dead. Zhao Chong threatened, kill me, and you'll throw your life away too, then we'll die together. My demeanor must have been truly terrifying, because Zhao Chong ultimately lacked the nerve to die with me and had no choice but to let me go. As for why I let Gu Shuyan lead me into that unfamiliar room despite my suspicions, I desperately needed that investment, which meant I had to uncover Zhao Chong's weakness. Back then, I was truly backed into a corner. This was my last resort, a desperate gamble where survival meant staking everything. Thankfully my gamble paid off. Zhao Chong ended up investing in our company because of the recording. The company is gradually getting back on track. Jiang Xing still lacked courage. She didn't even have the guts to leave. She couldn't bear to abandon the investment she'd sacrificed everything to obtain, so she kept getting blackmailed and manipulated, time and again. But nothing stays hidden forever. Jiang Xing's reputation was ruined in no time. Everyone started whispering about her affair with Zhao Chong behind her back. Jiang Xing's parents were utterly disappointed in her, believing her actions had humiliated them in front of their friends. People always chase after benefits. They gradually distanced themselves from Jiang Xing and started cozying up to me instead. Meanwhile, my relationship with Qin Mu grew increasingly stable. He even publicly decided to transfer half of all his company shares to me. He heads straight home the moment work ends, turns down every drinking invitation and social engagement, doesn't have a single woman around him. Ice cold to everyone else, yet his eyes soften only for me. Once again, I became the envy of everyone. Everyone kept asking for my secret to keeping a devoted husband, wondering what magic I'd worked to make him so loyal. 18. A month later, Qin Mu and I attended an industry summit where we ran into Jiang Xing and Gu Shuyan. Jiang Xing had long shed his former arrogance. Her haggard face bore dark circles that no foundation could conceal. People around were snickering at her behind her back, yet she carried on conversations with unshakable composure. But when our eyes met, she looked straight through me like I was a stranger. I certainly wouldn't initiate a greeting either. Never imagined she'd actually slip drugs into the water the server gave me. Even had someone lead Qin Mu away. When I was disoriented, she took me to a room on the second floor. Jiang Yu, don't blame me. Why should you reap all the rewards in both lifetimes while I suffer all the hardships? Zhao Chong promised to let me go if I helped him get you. Just stay still and don't resist. It'll all be over after you sleep. Jiang Xing laid me on the bed and fled in panic. I forced my eyes open to see a pudgy, thick-necked figure looming by the bedside. Zhao Chong advanced toward me step by step. I frantically groped for the dagger in my bag, the same one Qin Mu had carried for self-harm. Just as Zhao Chong was about to grab me, I mustered my last ounce of clarity and drove the blade through his palm, clutching his arm. Zhao Chang held. "Where the hell did a woman like you get a knife?" I collapsed to the ground, dragging the blade across my arm. The sharp pain brought me a fleeting moment of clarity. I stumbled out of the room in a daze. Someone pulled me into an embrace, but I kept struggling weakly. Then a familiar voice whispered, "Yeah, it's me." I looked up to see the worry on Qin Mu's face before finally passing out in relief. 19. When I came to, I found myself in the hospital. Qin Mu was asleep by the bed. Clutching my hand tightly, the moment I stirred, he woke and rushed to call the nurse. He gave me the medicine as the nurse had instructed, then he held me tight, refusing to let go for the longest time. I patted his head reassuringly. "Don't worry, I'm fine now, aren't I?" Qin Mu's voice turned grim. "Just thinking about that man trying to touch you makes me want to chop his hands off. So you're saying no man can ever touch me again?" "Absolutely not. Yaya belongs to me alone." Qin Mu held me even tighter as he spoke. "But you shook hands with other women at the summit. Should I be mad about that too? It was just a joke." But to my surprise, Qin Mu nodded in agreement. "Makes sense. Then Yaya, go ahead and chop my hand off as punishment." With that, he actually placed the knife in my hand. Seeing me hesitate, Qin Mu pouted like a wronged child. "You won't do it. Is it because you don't like me? That's why you're not even angry when I touch other girls?" I sighed helplessly. "You lunatic." 20. The next day, I learned from the bodyguards that after Qin Mu realized I was missing, he went berserk searching for me, nearly derailing the entire summit. When they finally found me in a second-floor room, Jiangxing tried to intervene, only to be sent flying by a single kick from Qin Mu. Qin Mu took me to the hospital while ordering his bodyguards to give those 3 men a brutal beating. Had the summit organizers not intervened, things could have spiraled out of control. Jiangxing and I were in the same hospital. After recovering, I went to see her once. Jiangxing lay bedridden. "You must be feeling smug seeing me like this, aren't you?" I sat on the couch across from her. "You brought this all upon yourself." Jiangxing laughed, her laughter growing increasingly shrill. "I just don't understand. We came from the same background, the same parents. Why does everything you choose succeed while all my choices fail? I can't accept it. Why does fate always favor you?" "Fate doesn't favor me. You were wrong from the very beginning. What matters isn't the choice itself, but the person making it." Jiangxing sneered. "You're just implying I'm not as brave as you, aren't you?" I shook my head gently. "No, your biggest mistake is always expecting others to get what you want, never considering earning it through your own efforts. But every gift from God comes with a price tag already attached. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Greed always backfires. I was never the one who did this to you." Jiangxing stared at me with wide eyes. I stood up and walked away without looking back. Behind me, Jiangxing's voice turned almost hysterical. "You're lying. I didn't lose. You're lying." 21. After I was discharged from the hospital, Qin Mu became even more clingy, blaming himself entirely for my accident and practically wanting to keep me by his side every second. Dad mentioned that Gu Shuyan divorced Jiangxing right after she left the hospital. Lately, he seems to be courting the daughter of some nouveau riche family. Jiangxing keeps muttering to herself daily, insisting she did nothing wrong and never lost. Her parents had no choice but to commit her to a psychiatric hospital. Qin Mu wasn't about to let Zhao Chang off the hook that easily. In less than a month, he drove Zhao Chang's company into bankruptcy, buried under crushing debt. Zhao Chang was reduced to living like a fugitive. He was eventually arrested by the police for robbery and manslaughter. Later, I saw Jiangxing in the news. Somehow she escaped from the psychiatric hospital and stabbed Gu Shuyan with a knife during his wedding ceremony. Gu Shuyan died on the spot. When Jiangxing was arrested, he kept muttering, "This is all your fault." Due to mental health issues, Jiangxing wasn't sentenced, but he'll likely spend the rest of his life in a psychiatric hospital. 22. When Mom found out, she called me from a new number in tears, saying she'd have to rely on me for the rest of her life. I gave some half-hearted responses before hanging up. They raised me, so of course I'll repay them. But if they're expecting my affection and care, they'll be sorely disappointed, because those are things I never received growing up. My parents' expressions darkened when Qin Mu found out. He was so overjoyed he could hardly contain himself, unsure if he should even touch me. In the end, I was the one who embraced him first. Only then did Qin Mu happily sweep me up in his arms and spin me around. After 9 months of pregnancy, we welcomed a beautiful baby girl into the world. Qin's parents wanted to visit the child, but we turned them down. Qin Mu gazed at the child with tender eyes. Yeah, I'll do my best to be a good father." I smiled and said, "We both will." Even though we never received much parental love ourselves, our child will be the happiest one. Story 2, Ningshu's beloved died because of me, and he hated me for it for 10 years. Even when I succumbed to illness, he never forgave me. Reborn on that fateful day, I resolved to let them be together by dying in his beloved's stead. Fortunately, I survived the attempt and seized the chance to fake my death. I started a new life, leaving Ningshu completely behind me. 2 years later, Ningshu accidentally came across my photo and realized I was still alive. They say he lost his mind on the spot. 1. After 10 years of marriage, Ningshu finally found a substitute for his unattainable love. She was a college girl. Her mere resemblance to Shenlanshan drove Ningshu wild with devotion, spoiling her rotten, coming from poverty. Ningshu sponsored her education. When she needed an internship, Ningshu made her his personal assistant. They became inseparable. Ningshu once promised we'd take a seaside stroll on my 35th birthday. It's been over a decade since we last visited the shore together. Ever since Shenlanshan was lost to the sea, on the birthday, I applied lipstick to mask my sickly pale lips, then draped my emaciated frame in elegant clothes. I waited by the shore all day, not a single call from Ningshu. Only when night fell did his secretary relay that urgent business kept him away. Relying on memory, I found that college girl's Weibo post. She posted a photo with a hand barely visible in the corner, that was unmistakably Ningshu. The moment he heard I had period cramps, he dropped everything and rushed over, even made me kanji himself. Older men really know how to pamper you. Adorable. The tumor in my brain is pressing on the nerves, the pain so severe I can't straighten my back. Liberation is near. I smiled soundlessly at the sea. Shenlanshan, I'll soon repay you with my life. 2. Ningshu didn't come home until the early hours. He glanced at me on the couch and said flatly, still up, Ningshu, we need to talk. I know what you're going to say. He leisurely loosened his tie. Even at 35, Ningshu maintained a well-toned physique, his every movement exuding the poise of a mature man. No wonder he could attract 20-year-old college girls. I was indeed with my assistant tonight. She wasn't feeling well and had no one around. I thought it'd be tough for a young woman alone, so I went to check on her. We'll go to the beach another day. Not about that. He seemed surprised. Then what is it? I was trying to figure out how to bring it up. Ningshu took another guess. The birthday gift. I had my assistant deliver it to you. That's not it either. Ningshu's patience ran out. Yuning, I'm exhausted today. If you've got something to say, spit it out instead of wasting time with riddles. I have terminal brain cancer. I slid the diagnosis report across to him. I'd rehearsed 100 ways to start this conversation, but none of them mattered in the end. Ningshu kept flipping through the report in disbelief. The room was eerily silent. Is this real? A top-tier hospital falsifying reports. For the first time, Ningshu showed me a flicker of emotion beyond impatience. But it was gone in an instant. He quickly composed himself, setting the report aside. It's getting late, you should rest. Is that all you have to say? When disappointment piles up, it turns into collapse. Ningshu, I'm dying. This might be my last birthday alive. He stopped in his tracks, letting me pelt him with pillows and cups, neither resisting nor dodging. Only when I'd calmed down did he wipe the water from his face, revealing a cruel smile. Yuning, tell me, isn't this karma? I froze on the spot. Then came the second half of his sentence. This is your karma for indirectly causing Shenlanshan's death. 3. Ningshu threw those words at me before retreating to his bedroom. The door slammed shut, cutting off my last glimmer of hope. But I knew Ningshu was right. Shenlanshan's death was connected to me. Before turning 22, the three of us, Ningshu, Shenlanshan, and I, were inseparable. The very definition of an ironclad trio, if I had to say. I was always the odd one out. Both the Shen and Ning families were extremely wealthy. They received elite education since childhood and shared many common interests. Only because Shenlanshan considered me her best friend did I have a place in their circle. Later, just like every cliché love triangle story would go, I fell for Ningshu, but his eyes only ever followed Shenlanshan. My secret crush meant nothing in the grand scheme of things. For Miss Shen's 22nd birthday, I suggested celebrating at sea. Coincidentally, she owned a private yacht that had never been used. Shenlanshan found the proposal quite appealing, so she cancelled the upscale club reservation last minute and moved the birthday celebration to a maritime venue. The festivities stretched across several days. At first, everything went smoothly, but on the third day, disaster struck. The yacht suddenly malfunctioned, causing seawater to flood in, and is expected to sink within 20 minutes. There are 17 people on board with only 2 lifeboats, which have a maximum capacity of 16. One person will inevitably have to stay behind and await rescue. To ensure fairness, Shenlanshan proposed drawing lots to decide who would remain. Unfortunately, I drew the short straw. After everyone boarded the lifeboat, Shenlanshan suddenly snatched the lot from my hand. Ningning, you go first. No. I'm the one who drew the lot, you dummy. Shenlanshan flashed me a smile. No wonder she was the campus belle. That radiant grin. I can swim, you can't. You go first. I'll last longer than you. No, if you're staying, I'm staying too. Don't make this harder for me. Who knows, I might reach shore right after you. Without another word, Shenlanshan pushed me onto the lifeboat. She turned to Ningshu and said, "Take good care of her." Those were Shenlanshan's final words to us. 4. No sooner had our lifeboat departed than the storm hit. The extreme weather delayed the rescue team, and by the time they arrived, the private yacht had completely sunk. Shenlanshan couldn't be saved. Rescuers found her body in the wreckage of the sunken ship. Ningshu had planned to confess his feelings to Shenlanshan after returning to shore. He'd even prepared gifts and flowers, but his beloved white moonlight remains forever in the sea. From that moment on, Ningshu began to despise me. If only I hadn't persuaded Shenlanshan to set sail. She wouldn't have died. If not, it would have been me who perished. Later, Ningshu read my diary and discovered my secret crush on him. He sneered mockingly, "You like me, as if you're worthy." Yet despite his words, a week later Ningshu suddenly proposed with a diamond ring in an outrageously grand gesture. The photos went viral online, everyone saying they've never seen a diamond this enormous, and how adorable the prince and Cinderella's childhood sweetheart romance is. But little do they know, in reality, the prince's gaze never lingered on Cinderella. Ningshu married me solely because of Shenlanshan's dying wish. He truly took good care of me, except, he never loved me. Ningshu never once strayed, as if to put Shenlanshan's departed soul at ease. He struggled to maintain our marriage for a full decade, until this replacement appeared, rekindling the dying embers in Ningshu's heart. My condition grew progressively worse. Ningshu never once visited me in the hospital. He was too busy with his career, busy entertaining his young assistant. The hospital room TV was broadcasting a charity gala live. There was Ningshu in formal attire, with that assistant Xiaoqiu trailing behind him, with her delicate makeup. Xiaoqiu looked even more like Shenlanshan. My gaze froze when I spotted the necklace around her neck. That was Shenlanshan's necklace, that year when I was 20, all because I'd casually remarked, "This necklace is beautiful." Shenlanshan simply took it off and gave it to me. Only later did I learn her brother had bought it at auction for millions. Shenlanshan said, "What's a few million? Ningning is my best friend, she's worth it." After her death, I sealed the necklace in a jewelry box. Unable to bear opening it, what gives Ningshu the right to force this on someone else? With my last ounce of strength, I made the call. "What is it?" came the icy voice. "I'm busy today, call back later." No one can replace her. I cut Ningshu off harshly. No matter what he was busy with, I mustered all my strength and spoke each word deliberately. "No one can replace Shenlanshan. Ningshu, you're insulting her." Ningshu stood frozen for a long moment. I was utterly exhausted. After hanging up, I closed my eyes for the last time. The day I died, a storm raged outside, so similar to the day Shenlanshan met her fate. 5. Ningning, do you have feelings for Ashu? The familiar sweet voice snapped me back to awareness. I was reborn. 22-year-old Shenlanshan sat before me with a radiant smile. "Don't even try to deny it. What are we to each other? You can't hide it from me." Seeing me frozen in place, she added, "Got it right, don't worry. I'll make sure you two have some alone time tonight. Make it count." Overcome with emotion, I rushed forward and pulled Shenlanshan into a tight embrace. The familiar scent of jasmine clung to her. "It's really her, in the flesh." "Ningning, what's wrong? Who's bullying you? Tell me, I'll teach them a lesson." "No, the words trailed off unfinished. The alarm suddenly blared. "Yacht malfunction. All personnel report to the deck immediately, now." "Oh no, this can't be happening. I just got reincarnated." 6. Everyone gathered uneasily at the bow. The yacht was tilting, its stern beginning to sink. To make matters worse, the weather was turning foul. Just like in their past lives, they drew lots to decide who would wait for rescue. I took a deep breath and snatched the short straw first. "It's me. The rest of you don't need to draw." Everyone except Shenlanshan sighed in relief and scrambled onto the lifeboat. Just then, I noticed something odd about Ningshu. In his past life, he was the commander, organizing everyone's orderly boarding of the lifeboat, but now, he stood there dazed, eyes vacant, only squeezing onto the lifeboat when shoved by others, as if his soul had left him. Whatever, Who cares about him? I clenched the short slip in my palm and counted down 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Shenlong lunged at me to snatch my slip. Just as I expected, my prediction was spot on. I dodged her effortlessly. What are you doing? I feigned surprise, she said, Ning Ning. Let's switch. You go first this time. I'll stay and wait for help. I'm a strong swimmer. I can handle this better than you. I shook my head. No, the draw decided it. This is my fate. Don't be ridiculous. Remember, I'm a certified swim instructor. You go ahead. I might even reach shore by the time you do. Thank you, Shanshan. In my past life, I never got the chance to say thanks. I'm glad I could make up for it now. What's with the sudden gratitude? Are we best friends? Of course. Then live well, I beg you. Shenlong looked utterly bewildered. It was Ning Shu behind her whose pupils abruptly constricted the moment I finished speaking. He suddenly came alive, his gaze locking onto me without blinking. The next instant, I shoved Shenlong onto the lifeboat. This time, let me be the one to die. Weightless, I sank toward the stern. Then I heard Ning Shu's heart-wrenching scream over the ocean. Ning Ning. How strange, did he ever call me that in our past life? I turned and met his despairing, shattered gaze. Those weren't the eyes of 22-year-old Ning Shu, they belonged to his 35-year-old self. Ning Shu had been reborn too. I closed my eyes with quiet resignation. What good is rebirth now? The ending was already written. Ning Shu, I owe you nothing more. My body sank deeper into the sea, sinking further still. In the abyssal darkness, a sudden beam of light illuminated my world. 7. Time flashed by in an instant. 2 years have passed since my rebirth. Walking across the UK campus while texting with my head down, Shenlong, ding dong, your baby arrives in London tomorrow. Cool, JPG, me, ready to welcome your majesty anytime. Cool, JPG, Shenlong, bringing you spicy strips. Me, my lady, you're my goddess. A foreign classmate nearby asked, what's got you so cheerful? I couldn't help but smile. After escaping death itself, how could I not be happy? No one would have guessed I'm still alive. That shipwreck 2 years ago. As my yacht was sinking beneath the waves, a small lifeboat suddenly appeared. It cut through the mist and waves, speeding toward me. What happened next is beyond my knowledge. When I came to, I found myself in a foreign hospital. A familiar face was by my side, strikingly handsome yet with an air of cool detachment in his features. Awake, the doctor says you're out of danger. My mind lagged for a moment before finally placing who this person was. Shendu, that stern, rigid older brother who'd nevertheless spend millions on a necklace for Shenlong. Was it you who saved me? Shendu gave a brief explanation. That day when the accident happened, he immediately dispatched a rescue boat after detecting changing weather conditions at sea, just as a precaution. Never thought it would actually save me. I'm grateful, yet somewhat confused. Did this happen in my previous life? Before I could figure it out, Shendu stood up to leave. By the way, I haven't told anyone about saving you yet, not even Shanshan. He paused briefly and looked at me. I suppose you might have your own plans. 8. According to Shendu, everyone thought I was dead. Shenlong even locked herself at home, refusing to eat or drink, drowning in tears. Ning Shu sent divers to retrieve my body. He spared no expense, refusing to give up until they found the corpse. Yet all they recovered was my bracelet, a birthday gift Ning Shu gave me during our sophomore year. I've never taken it off since the day I got it. Ning Shu knelt on the salvage boat, sobbing with the bracelet clutched in his hands. On my discharge day, I resolved to tell Shenlong that I was alive. Upon hearing the news, Shenlong flew to England and held me tight. Weeping uncontrollably, we made a pact she'd keep my secret. Acting as if Yuning had truly died, Shenlong was tight-lipped. 2 years passed, and only my family and the Shen siblings knew of my existence. This narrow escape, I realized, marked my true rebirth. I changed my name and cut off my waist-length hair. Ning Shu once said he liked girls with straight black hair, so I never changed my hairstyle again. In this new life, I'll live for myself. As a STEM girl, the UK has my dream university. Imperial College London, ranked 10th globally. I stayed here, working and studying. Shendu wanted to help me. He said, don't overwork yourself, I'll provide you with housing. Just focus on your master's applications. I shook my head. Thank you, but I want to make it on my own. You've already helped me too much. He let out a soft sigh. Back and forth, Shendu and I developed a bit of camaraderie. Once I asked, why are you willing to help me for free? Because you're Shanshan's best friend. The reply was absolutely impeccable. In the end, I successfully got admitted to Imperial College London for graduate studies and returned to campus life. After graduating, Shen Lanshan landed a cushy job at her family's company. She'd frequently jet off to London to visit me. This privileged girl could have easily booked penthouse suites at 5-star hotels. Yet she insisted on squeezing into my tiny dorm room every single time. We'd chat, binge shows, and share gossip together, just like old times. To my surprise, she and Ningxu never ended up together. Instead, they drifted further apart. At this, Shen Lanshan declared firmly, "I don't know what issues you have with Ningxu, but I live by one rule: whoever my best friend hates becomes my sworn enemy. My best friend is never wrong, and even if she is, she's still right." Her words made me laugh. Then Shen Lanshan added, "But hey, He Yuexin, I think you've got it all wrong. Ningxu doesn't like me at all. He's into you, no way. But he's become so obsessed because of you," Shen Lanshan muttered under her breath. "Ever since your accident, he keeps saying things I don't understand, like I was wrong. Please come back, I'll never see that assistant again and such." Another time, I caught him kneeling before your portrait, murmuring to himself and weeping bitterly, honoring my wishes, my family, and Shen Lanshan held a funeral for me. I gave an awkward smile and changed the subject. "How long are you planning to stay this time?" "Just long enough to celebrate your birthday. I'll leave in 2 weeks." We huddled under the covers, chatting about variety shows and celebrity crushes. Neither of us remembered who dozed off first. The next morning, I was jolted awake by Shen Lanshan's scream, "Ningning, I'm so sorry." Ningning has always been my nickname, it just rolls off the tongue. So I never asked anyone to change how they address me. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Ningxu." Ningxu saw our photo together. 9. Yesterday, Shen Lanshan posted food photos in our class group chat. She accidentally uploaded a picture of us together instead. She quickly retracted it after realizing, thinking no one had seen, but unexpectedly, some busybody swiftly saved the image and forwarded it to Ningxu. Ningxu immediately went berserk, bombarding Shen Lanshan with endless calls. Shen Lanshan slept like a log, completely oblivious to the ringing. When she woke up, her WeChat was flooded with hundreds of messages from Ningxu. The last one said he was already on his way to the UK. "What do we do now?" Shen Lanshan asked, on the verge of tears. "We'll cross that bridge when we come to it." "Got it. You're saying I should hire some muscle to beat him back. Why don't you just hire a hitman? Works for me." "Miss, I was just kidding. No output as the provided text is empty or contains only a non-printing character." Jokes aside, Ningxu actually showed up. The group photo was taken near campus. The distinctive buildings made it obvious to Ningxu this was Imperial College. I was pretty confident at first, with such a huge campus. How could he possibly find me? But I forgot, you shouldn't jinx things by speaking too soon. That Thursday, I was rushing to the lab with a stack of documents in my arms. Turning a corner, I collided head-on with someone. "Sorry," a familiar voice rang out. There was no time to run. I looked up and saw Ningxu right there. 10. 2 whole years had passed, and Ningxu's appearance had changed noticeably. He seemed more composed than before, yet burdened with unspoken thoughts. At this moment, I'm profoundly grateful I'd bundled up completely, not just wearing a hat, but even wrapping my scarf over everything below my eyes. Papers scattered everywhere as I silently gathered them with bowed head. Ningxu stared blankly into my eyes. Did he find something out? I hastily packed my things and bolted out of there. Thought I'd dodged a bullet. The next day, there was a theory class. The WeChat group created by Chinese classmates was buzzing with activity. "Who's that guy in the back row? Never seen him before." "No idea. Probably just auditing the class. Who'd want to sit in on our boring major anyway?" "Looking kind of fine." I turned back curiously for a glance. "Wait, Ningxu. Seems like he spotted me too." Our eyes met for a split second before I quickly turned away. I prayed silently that they wouldn't get a clear look at my face, yet throughout the entire class, that burning gaze never left my back. When class ended, I was the first one out the door. I thought I could finally escape Ningxu's pursuit this way. Never expected him to be quicker than me. At the foot of the teaching building, he called out to me, "Hey classmate, did you forget your student ID?" I paused mid-step, rummaged through my pocket. Sure enough, it was there. Must have dropped my student ID when we bumped into each other yesterday. Didn't even notice he'd picked it up. His leather shoes tapped lightly against the marble floor, soft yet unnervingly distinct. "The photo on this looks really nice," he said. "Don't you agree?" Classmate He Yuning, 11. There's no point in running away now. Ningxu had already figured out it was me. That's how he knew exactly which classroom to find. I turned around and snatched the student ID from his hand. "Let me correct you. My name is He Yuexin, joy within, joy without. I love myself." What about He Yuning? He's gone. He stared at me in silence. The British weather was being temperamental again, with a fine drizzle now falling. Ningshu's eyes mirrored the weather, hazy and unfathomable. You've been reborn too, haven't you? He whispered. Did you abandon even the name Yuning just to avoid seeing me? Yes, I did. Ningshu's eyes gradually reddened. Why? Do I need a better reason than I hate you? Fair enough. I was a jerk. I hate myself too. But Ningning, no matter how much you despise me, don't avoid me, please. I gave him a weird look. Are you insane? What's with this sudden dramatic confession? Say whatever you want, as long as it makes you happy. Ningshu stepped forward, grabbing my hand and pressing it against his chest. Ningning, by the time I realized how deeply I loved you, it was already too late. Heaven punished me, making me endure your death twice. The agony tore me apart, until today. Before he could finish, I yanked my hand away and slapped him across the face. Wake up, I stopped loving you ages ago. 12. My blow sent Ningshu's head snapping sideways, leaving him dazed for a long moment. I hadn't held back my strength. A red mark gradually bloomed across his cheek. Young Master Ning had lived in pampered luxury, never once been struck before. He touched his face and smiled. To his surprise, it was a contented smile. Let's just say Ningning was willing to touch me. Shenlanshan was right. He'd completely lost his mind. Feel better now? If not, how about slapping this side of my face too? He even proactively offered his other cheek. I recoiled in disgust. Don't make me sick. Disgusting. Ningshu froze. You think I'm disgusting? Absolutely revolting. Could you bear with me and let me finish? No, I don't want to hear it. Just then, my savior arrived. Spotting the Maybach approaching through the rain, I sighed in relief. Gotta go. My boyfriend's here to pick me up. Boyfriend. Ningshu froze instantly. Following my gaze, a man stepped out of the car and opened a black umbrella. I skipped happily under his sheltering canopy, not sparing Ningshu another glance. Ningshu's face darkened. This was someone he recognized. It's Shindu, 13. The Shin family has business interests in the UK, so Shindu has been spending most of his time in London these years. Before class ended, I sensed things were about to get messy, so I texted Shindu in advance to bail me out. Shindu arrived just in time. Thanks for earlier. Don't mention it. Is Shanshan bothering you with your studies? Not at all. She mentioned going to France today. Shindu gave me a ride to the supermarket to pick up some groceries before heading back to the dorm. The dorm hallway was empty. I'll head in first, I said, waving at Shindu. He suddenly pulled me into his arms and kissed me passionately. The motion sensor light went out. In the darkness, I responded to him cautiously. After what felt like an eternity, his kiss nearly suffocating me, Shindu finally loosened his grip. When should we tell Shanshan about us? I whispered. Just wait a little longer. He pouted. Am I really that embarrassing to show off? It's not that. The words melted into our next lingering kiss. Shindu and I have only been together for half a month. Even now, it still feels surreal when I think about it. That day, he calmly asked if I'd like to try dating him, mesmerized by his striking features. I found myself nodding without thinking. After calming down, I started having second thoughts. Shindu is after all my best friend's own brother. Wouldn't this be kind of inappropriate? Sensing my hesitation, Shindu immediately asked, do you still have feelings for Ningshu? Of course not. Then give me a chance. I'm great, not inferior to anyone. You've got nothing to lose by trying. He made a compelling point. I'm not going to stay single forever just because of one lousy guy. Shindu is genuinely wonderful, thoughtful and caring, but something still feels off when we're together. I keep things polite with him, and he does the same. Only in the darkness like this do we dare to hold each other. Shindu's passionate kiss was interrupted as a plastic bag fell to the ground with a dull thud. Is Ningning back yet? Shenlanshan's voice suddenly rang out. She happily ran to the door, pulled the door open. 14. Alarm bells rang in my head as I swiftly pushed Shindu away. Caught off guard, Shindu was shoved against the wall with a muffled grunt. That must have hurt. I gave him an apologetic look. Huh, brother, what are you doing here? Shenlanshan asked in surprise. We ran into each other, and your brother gave me a ride to the supermarket. I changed the subject. What about you? Weren't you supposed to go to France today? Don't even ask. With all the strikes in France, I had to cancel my flight. Shindu said, you two chat. I've got work to do heading out first. After closing the door, Shenlanshan looked me over. Ningning, what happened to your lips? They're so red. I fidget guiltily. Had some spicy food on the way here. Ha, serves you right for sneaking snacks without me. Your Highness speaks wisely. By the way, I've noticed my brother acting strange lately. What's wrong? I think he's in a relationship. My hand trembled, spilling the water I was pouring. Any evidence for that? Totally. Look, he used to post on social media like once every 6 months. But now he's flooding his feed with random stuff, snapping stray dogs, wildflowers. Even writing cheesy captions like "the moon looks beautiful tonight," classic signs of someone crushing hard. Detective Shin Lanshan swiped through her phone as she walked me through the analysis. She didn't notice that Shindu had sent me a message. Shindu, it hurts me from the bump just now. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. I was too nervous. Shindu, puppy dog eyes, JPG, normally restrained and rigid. Shindu's occasional cute antics like this create a striking contrast. Shindu. Wanting compensation, fidgeting fingers. Me, got it. I'll make it up to you next time. Ning Ning. Shin Lanshan paused and looked at me quizzically. Who are you texting? You've been grinning at your screen this whole time. Oh, just came across an adorable puppy video. I desperately changed the subject, even at the cost of revealing something personal. I ran into Ningshu today. She completely forgot about Shindu, just as expected. So, did he see you? I gave her a rough rundown. Leaving out the part about Shindu, Shin Lanshan clicked her tongue. He's completely unhinged these days. Don't hit him yourself next time. I'm afraid he might actually enjoy it. Shin Lanshan was absolutely right. Ningshu has completely lost his mind now. That very night, just as we were about to sleep, the dorm group chat exploded. There's a guy kneeling outside building C, whose desperate simp got left behind. 15. Someone took a photo and shared it in the group chat. The moment I saw Ningshu, I nearly passed out. It had been raining nonstop outside. He knelt in the downpour, looking haggard and pitiful. Dormitory access requires a keycard. Since he couldn't get in, he had no choice but to kneel there waiting for me to come down. Honestly, I wouldn't even spare Ningshu a glance if he dropped dead on the sidewalk, but the international student community is tight-knit. If I don't put a stop to this, the gossip will spread from London to Scotland by tomorrow. I just want to focus on my studies, not become the main character in campus drama. I stormed downstairs, seething with rage. Ningshu, how far are you willing to take this? Ningshu's eyes lit up. Ning Ning, you finally came to see me. I sneered. Missed me that much? Humph, in my past life when I was dying, why didn't you come to see me? His smile instantly collapsed. I'm sorry, so sorry. Ning Ning, I know I was wrong. Believe it or not, I'd actually fallen for you long before in that lifetime. I just couldn't face it. That's why I treated you so coldly. Disgusting. Just shut up. Ningshu stopped me with obsessive persistence and continued, because I'm consumed by guilt. I owe Shin Lanshan this debt. Hearing Shin Lanshan's name, I froze mid-step. Ning Ning, Shin Lanshan made me promise to take care of you before she died. That's the only reason I married you. But after a few years of marriage, I realized I'd developed feelings for you. No output as the provided text is empty or contains only a non-printing character. Ningshu's voice was hoarse, flickering like an aging light bulb. In that moment, I was terrified. I felt I'd betrayed Shin Lanshan. I deliberately distanced myself, brainwashed myself into numbness. Later, when I met Xiaoqiu who resembled her, I showered the girl with affection just to prove my undying love for Shin Lanshan. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Hilarious. If you love me so much, why didn't you stay on the yacht for me? I reincarnated slightly later than you. The first thing I saw was you pushing Shin Lanshan toward me. He was filled with remorse. If only I'd acted sooner, I would never have let you stay. No output as the provided text is empty or contains only a non-printing character. I pressed further. What about when I had brain cancer? He fell silent. After a long pause, he finally muttered guiltily, I'm sorry, I actually thought you were lying about the brain cancer. When Ningshu saw I remained unmoved, he dropped to his knees with a thud. Ning, please give me another chance. I'll make it up to you, I promise. I shook my head impatiently. Ningshu, we can only be strangers now. I won't love you anymore, nor will I hate you, because hatred is still a powerful emotion, and you don't deserve even that. Ningshu's breath hitched. He was about to beg when sudden noises came from the stairwell. I pulled open the fire door to find Shin Lanshan standing there. She must have been hiding here to protect me, probably afraid of what Ningshu might do, but now she stood pale-faced. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. 16. After I said it was fine, Shin Lanshan forced a smile. Can I ask a few questions? Go ahead. Was everything you just said true? It's true. In my past life, was I the one who died? Did I ask him to take care of you? Then you died of brain cancer. But before that, he was with my replacement. Shin Lanshan was trembling from head to toe. The next second, she lunged forward and slapped Ningshu hard across the face. how fucking dare you treat Ningning like that? The slap wasn't enough. She grabbed Ningshu by the collar, nearly hysterical, every word dripping with venom. How dare you treat her like that? Answer me, using my name to hurt her. What gives you the right? What fucking right do you have? With that pathetic excuse you call love, this is ridiculous. Ningshu, to me, you're not even worth one of my best friend's fingernails. Ningshu offered no resistance. He looked at me with despair in his eyes, as if still clinging to the faint hope that I might take pity on him. Now I finally understand why Ningning refuses to see you. Shenlanshan kicked him away. Ningshu, you truly don't deserve it. She pulled me along and resolutely went upstairs. That moment seemed to have drained Shenlanshan of all her strength. Back in the room, she leaned against me in silence. After what felt like an eternity, she asked tentatively, does it hurt? What's this? A brain tumor? It must be excruciating. Shenlanshan suddenly sobbed. Ningning, you've suffered so much. Tears came streaming down my face. To be honest, I haven't shed a tear since that first death. No sorrow has ever been worth my tears. Yet somehow, hearing Shenlanshan say those words, I could no longer hold back my tears. That's what true friends are like. She always sees right through my pain and sorrow. No matter how I try to hide, she sees my true self. I remained silent, and Shenlanshan didn't press further. She patted me gently, like a belated comfort. The pain's gone now, Ningning. It won't hurt anymore. 17. The next day, Shenlanshan dragged me to a medical checkup. The doctor said I was perfectly healthy. I told her not to worry. In my past life, the doctor said this illness stemmed from pent-up anger. Constant unhappiness is what made me sick. Now I'm truly happy. Every day feels fulfilling, and I won't fall ill again. On the way home, Shenlanshan made a wish to the turtle in the pond. I asked, what are you doing, Shu? I answered it for you. Answered what? May my daughter live as long and healthy as this turtle. Me, touched yet annoyed. What's going on with me? Ever since learning about her past life, Shenlanshan changed. She stopped obsessing over shopping and entertainment. She returned home and began working seriously, getting involved in the family business. She vowed to gradually dismantle Ningshu's company to avenge me. Shenlanshan truly took after her brother, a quick learner with ruthless efficiency. Ningshu found himself constantly under her attacks, overwhelmed and too preoccupied to bother with me. I was finally able to enjoy a period of peace. Christmas came around in the blink of an eye. I'd made plans to spend it with Shendu. We started talking about how Shenlanshan was doing lately. I said, aren't you going to rein in your little sister? Just let her be. The Ning family's company makes for perfect practice. I nearly spat out my drink, so in Shendu's eyes, Ningshu was just practice material. To be honest, if Shanshan doesn't take him down, I will. Why? I can't stand him. Lost in thought, Shendu leaned in and kissed me. Stop thinking about him. I wasn't. I stopped liking him ages ago. Be good. Feel these abs. If you don't touch them, all my workouts were for nothing. Heavy snow was falling outside. The atmosphere inside grew increasingly intimate. This was the first night Shendu and I spent together. It wasn't until midnight that we finally collapsed into bed, utterly exhausted. Just as drowsiness began to take hold, the electronic beep of fingerprint recognition suddenly pierced the silence. Surprise, Ningning. I came to celebrate the holidays with you. Shenlanshan appeared in the doorway, her suitcase rolling behind her. 18. I got dressed and walked out of the bedroom. You could have told me you were coming. I almost didn't hide your brother in time. Just wanted to surprise you. Here's your Christmas present. How did you get up here then? Someone happened to swipe their card to open the door, so I just followed them in. Shenlanshan and I exchanged gifts. I bought her those new smart glasses she'd been raving about. Had to camp out overnight just to snag a pair on launch day. Shenlanshan put on her glasses, absolutely thrilled. After studying for quite a while, she finally decided to take a break. I'm exhausted. Right after finishing work, I caught the earliest flight, just in time for Christmas. Shenlanshan headed straight for the bedroom. This lady needs her beauty sleep. Wait. I glanced nervously at the wardrobe and stopped her. Girl, you've lost so much weight. Work's been draining me, but don't worry. Once I take over Ningshu's company, I'll cut you in on the shares. She took off her coat and moved to hang it in the wardrobe. I quickly grabbed her arm. Let me hang that for you. Oh, okay. Why do you seem so nervous? Because your brother's hiding in the closet. The mighty CEO of Shin Corporation is now squeezed into my tiny wardrobe. After helping Shenlanshan hang up her coat, she reached for the wardrobe door again. A sudden knock at the door interrupted her movement. Our attention simultaneously shifted to the doorway. Who could possibly be coming at this late hour? This is a student dorm. We rarely get outsiders, so there's no peephole on the door. I opened the door without hesitation. Ningshu stood outside, arms full of gifts and roses. Shenlanshan rolled her eyes. Persistent little pest. What do you want now? Ningxu ignored her, looking straight at me as he said, Merry Christmas, Ningning, this is for you. He held out a plush toy, carefully gauging my reaction. It was the exact plushie I'd been longing for. It's a limited edition release every Christmas, affordable but incredibly hard to get. I know Ningxu is acquainted with its designer, yet he's never gifted one to me. But after Shacho came along, he gave her one. You used to love it, do you still like it now? Ningxu asked cautiously. I replied, haven't liked it for ages. He said wistfully, that's alright, keep it anyway. You might rediscover your fondness for it someday. No way. I pushed him away. Take your roses too, you're not welcome here. Ningning, I know you lied about having a boyfriend. What's this? You only said that to spite me. I get it now. How ridiculous. Where does he get that confidence? Hearing this, Shendu inside the room couldn't hold back anymore. He stepped out of the bedroom and said irritably, who are you calling fake, Mr. Ning? Have some self-respect and stop harassing my girlfriend. Even Ningxu was taken aback this time. Shenlanshan's eyes widened in shock. 10 minutes later, the two men left one after another. Only Shenlanshan and I remained in the room. We stared at each other in silence. To be precise, the young Miss Shen was clearly upset and giving me the cold shoulder. I offered my apology earnestly. If you're uncomfortable with me dating your brother, I'll break up with him right now. How could romance ever compare to all these years of friendship? Shendu will just have to bear with it. I'm sure he'll understand. I'm not mad about that. Shenlanshan crossed her arms. I'm furious that after being this close, you kept it from me. And my brother, I'm his only blood sister, his own sister, and he goes after my best friend. How is that acceptable? Don't blame him. I made him keep it from you. Hey Yuashin, didn't we promise to share all our romantic prospects with each other? I sighed. It's my fault. I'm afraid things might not last with your brother. What? Is he treating you badly? I'll go beat him up right now. No, he's wonderful. That's exactly the problem. He's too wonderful. Shendu once told me he'd never been in love before. I was his first relationship. He said he was serious about this, that he was looking for marriage. Marriage, such a weighty word. I said gloomily to Shenlanshan, you know I was married once. To Ningxu, how it ended, you're aware of that, Ningning. Are you scared? Shenlanshan saw right through me. Yes, I don't think I'm ready yet, and I don't know how to face your brother. If we ever break up, you'd be caught in the middle. It'd be awkward, so I figured I'd wait until I've sorted myself out before telling you. I see. Shenlanshan quickly let it go. You know, I've always thought my brother's been acting strange these past few years. What's wrong? Don't you think the timing of his lifeboat deployment was too perfect? And he's invested in some overseas project, apparently researching brain tumors. What's this? I was taken aback. A bold idea suddenly occurred to me. Shenlanshan and I had the same thought. Holy shit, did he get reincarnated too? 20. I decided to confront Shendu and get to the bottom of this. It was my first time visiting his residence in England. The password is my birthday. Looks like Shendu isn't home. The study door was ajar, and my eyes were immediately drawn to the densely packed documents covering the walls. Every single one was about brain cancer research, how to prevent, how to treat. Right at the center of the documents was a photo of me. It was a picture Shenlanshan took of me during our freshman year sports meet. I had just finished the 100-meter dash, flashing a victory sign with a smile. A sheet of paper dangled beneath the photo, covered with little notes about me. She loved watching the ocean. But after Shanshan's death, she developed a fear of the sea. She adored a certain brand's bunny plushies, the limited Christmas editions released annually that she never managed to get. She was diagnosed with cancer at 34. To keep her spirits up, take her for regular checkups. Every word is infused with profound, passionate love. To think someone had carefully preserved even the darkest chapter of my life. Shendu appeared silently at the doorway. I knew I couldn't keep it from you. I turned to him. So, you're living a second life too. He nodded. I was reborn on the day of the shipwreck. Sent rescue boats immediately. Just made it in time. When Shendu realized it was me they'd rescued, he began to suspect we shared the same secret. Shendu, I never realized before that you, he chuckled, back then, your heart only had room for Ningxu. You saw me as nothing more than your friend's brother. Not even a real friend. I was afraid if I confessed and got rejected, you'd avoid even Shenlanshan. Truth be told, in my past life, my interactions with Shendu were few and far between, and whenever I reject someone, I usually block them and keep my distance. When did you start liking me? He pointed at that freshman year photo. before this, which means he'd already noticed me back in high school when my classmates and I visited Shinlanshan's place. In my memory, he'd always ask everyone with gentle courtesy, "Would you like ice cream, or some fruit?" Turns out, his gaze had been fixed on me all along. A flood of emotions washed over me as I recalled, "In your past life, you never married, because of you," Shindu admitted candidly. "After my death, he lived out his remaining years in solitude. On the day he died of old age, he was still clutching that worn-out hair ribbon in his hand. I'd left it behind during my first visit to Shinlanshan's home, the only keepsake I ever left him," Shindu said. "Had I known marriage would treat you so poorly, I would've." "About what?" "About stealing you away." I stared into his clear eyes, momentarily speechless. "Shindu, have you never resented me? What's there to blame you for?" "About Shinlanshan's death, you didn't wreck the yacht, you didn't summon the storm. The decision to set sail was entirely Shanshan's. Why on earth would we blame you?" He comfortingly ruffled my hair. "I don't blame you, Shanshan doesn't blame you, and you shouldn't blame yourself either. Don't blame yourself." Finally, someone said these words to me. My nose stung, and I nearly cried again. Shinlanshan once told me her family were nouveau riche. Ever seen cultured folks name their daughter something so ominous? My parents just thought Lanshan sounded pretty. Didn't even check the dictionary. Their lack of education bit them. So now they're dead serious about me and my brother's schooling. Shinlanshan wasn't lying. Both siblings turned out exceptionally well educated. Ningning, I've waited for you for so long. Shindu pressed a kiss to my forehead, long enough to last a lifetime. Suddenly, I remembered his confession from back then. "Would you like to try dating me?" So calm and restrained, yet love had long been gathering unseen, year after year, into rushing torrents. Those waters finally came before me one day, mending the shattered pieces of my life, putting me back together bit by bit. Ningning, thank you, for what? My voice caught in my throat. "Thank you, for finally seeing me," Shindu said contentedly. 21. Time flew by in a blur. 2 years later, I successfully completed my graduate studies. At the graduation ceremony, I took the stage as the valedictorian representing our entire college. The Shin siblings came to attend my graduation ceremony. Lanshan has changed a lot. She's grown into a capable professional with the demeanor of a young executive. We call her Little CEO Shin now. The acquisition plan for Ningxu Company will be finalized this year. Several UK companies offered me positions, hoping I'd stay, yet I chose to return home. Applying my life's learning to build our nation is my deepest aspiration. After starting work, I met Ningxu a few more times. I only saw him when work demanded it, or when we bumped into each other as classmates, never by choice. Until that final meeting, he asked, "Ningning, do I look different to you?" I gave him a quick glance. "Not really." He paused for a moment, looking dejected. "I've lost weight," he said, "a lot of weight." "Oh, by the way," I said absent-mindedly, barely registering his words, "I'm getting married." He froze instantly. "Am married?" "Yes, Shindu proposed to me. I'm really happy about it. We're getting married later this year." They say when people feel happy, many burdens just melt away. That's exactly how I feel right now. Even Ningxu doesn't seem so annoying anymore. "Want to come? I can send you an invitation." He forced a smile. "Sure." Back then, I had no idea. He can't make it. He's ill, with less than 6 months to live. 22. My wedding with Shindu was absolutely magnificent. Shinlanshan was my bridesmaid. She was happier than anyone else. Having my best friend become my sister-in-law means I'll never have to worry about in-law conflicts again. If she fights with my brother, obviously I'm siding with my girl. Sisters before misters. Brothers, never heard of them. Someone asked her, "Are you and your bestie really that close?" I swipe on lipstick to mask my sickly pale lips. Later, Shindu slipped the diamond ring onto my finger. I looked at Shindu and said, "I do." Below the stage, Shinlanshan sighed with emotion. "I used to think no one deserved to be my sister-in-law. Now all I can say is, Shindu, how did you get so lucky?" After the wedding, Ningxu sent gifts through an intermediary. The messenger said he'd gone traveling somewhere far away. He might never come back. I said, "Oh,